Hello, welcome to Oxford Heirlooms. In this video, we're going to continue to construct the day gown, and this time we're going to be sewing the shoulder seams. Now, the directions call for a 1/4 inch seam, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put entredeux at the seam because I like that look up there at the little shoulder seam. So let me cut 2 pieces of entredeux. That will be long enough for each one of the 2 shoulder seams, and we will get started. Okay, so I've got my entredeux. Let me set my other entredeux off to the side. Okay, now using my silk pins, I'm going to pin this entredeux to the shoulder seam. Okay, I like to pin it because the shoulder seam is cut slightly on a diagonal, so it has a little bit of stretchy bias in it. And we don't want it to stretch if at all possible. Let's see if I've got that line. No, I need to repin that. I didn't get it right on the edge. Let me try that again. Sometimes that happens. There we go. Okay, so now using a straight stitch, I'm going to sew the entredeux to the shoulder, taking my pins out as I come to them. Okay, now I need to repeat this for the shoulder of the other front piece, and then I'll go to the ironing board and I will press that entredeux towards the inside of the garment, but I'll be right back. Okay, so I have been to the ironing board and I have that neatly pressed towards the inside. Now I'm going to set my machine to a zigzag and the appropriate stitch length and stitch width for sewing entredeux. Let me put that piece out of the way. And then I'm going to zigzag both pieces at the shoulder seam. And I'll be catching the folded fabric on the left and the entredeux seam or the entredeux holes on the right. Okay, so let me clip my threads. Now I'm going to take my specialty scissors. As you can see, I've got that zigzagged going down along. I'm going to take my specialty scissors and I'm going to just trim sort of close to where I just zigzagged. It's a little bit thick where we get to those little pleats. Okay, now I need to repeat this process for the other shoulder, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my entredeux sewn to both of my shoulder seams on the front pieces. Now I need to, let me start with this piece. We need to pin the back of the garment to the front of the garment. And we'll go through these same 3 steps to sew the back of the garment onto the front. I just got to check to make sure I got my right sides together. There's nothing like sewing entredeux in and discovering that you've got one front and one back going together. Okay, now I've got to set my machine back to a straight stitch. Get my threads out of the way. Take the pins out as you come to them. And with a straight stitch, stitch the entredeux to the back of the garment. There. Okay, now I need to go to the ironing board and press this entredeux seam towards the back of the garment so that I can come back and zigzag. But first I'm going to sew the other seam. Okay, so I have that seam pressed towards the back of the garment. So let me come over. I've got my machine set to a zigzag in the appropriate stitch length and stitch width for sewing entredeux again. And I'm going to zigzag this entredeux seam in place. Ooh, about to run out of bobbin thread. I think when I pull it here, it may pull the end of the bobbin thread with it. What am I caught on? Got a thread caught on here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there's the end of the bobbin thread. Okay, so that was perfect timing for me. Okay, so let me, with my specialty scissors, I'm going to trim a little bit of this excess entredeux off. Just kind of get sort of close to the zigzag edge without cutting the zigzag. Okay, there. There, now I think that that makes a real pretty heirloom look for the shoulder seams. Let's see if I can zoom out a little bit here. For each of the sides of the garment. Okay, all right, so in this video we were sewing the shoulder seams with an entredeux seam and trimming the excess entredeux away. But in the next video, we'll begin working on the lace band for along the front and also, you know, around the neckline. But thank you.